in July of 2023, I made a video that was titled I made $1,000 with AI in 7 days. That video got over 2 million views, which blew my mind. And then after that video, I didn't make any more videos about AI for quite some time because I was honestly kind of tired of it. I felt like everybody was making those types of videos, so I wanted to take a little bit of a break from them. However, this last week or so, I have been diving back into different AI tools and trying to figure out ways that I can still make money with them and also show you guys how to do so as well. So today I am gonna be sharing what happened when I tried making money with AI for 30 days. Now, before we get started, if you want to see a video where I share some free traffic methods to use, especially when it comes to TikTok, because I've been getting a lot of questions about that lately, just let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to do that. But now let's get into it. Okay, so day one of trying to make money with AI, I decided to start with something super simple, and that was generating images to sell on websites like Etsy. This is actually something I did way back when I first started doing AI tutorials. It's pretty easy to do. All you really need to do is log on to Midjourney, type in whatever idea you want to create an image of, click enter, and then download the file. After that, you can upload it to a site like Etsy and list it for sale. With this method, I was able to make around $25. Now, I wasn't super happy with that result. I feel like I could have done better, but I figured that since this was day one, I had to start somewhere, and that was my starting point. Okay, so day two, I decided to try selling images on a platform called Creative Market instead of Etsy, and I ended up making $0, which I was not happy about. To be honest, this was probably my fault though, because I didn't put too much time into it. I only spent maybe like an hour or so trying to figure out how to do it and uploading a couple files, and that was it. So I kind of just gave up after that. Okay, day three, I decided to go back to Etsy and try again, but this time I spent more time on it. I made sure that I picked good keywords to use when I was uploading my files. I made sure that my tags were all filled out, and I even paid attention to the descriptions. At the end of the day, I made $18, so that was definitely better than the previous day, but it still wasn't great. On day four though, things really started to pick up. I continued listing images on Etsy and I started getting sales, so I made a total of $62, which was awesome. And then day 5, I made $96. Day 6, $96, and day 7, $110. So you can see that it just kind of kept going up and up and up. I think the reason why it took so long for me to get sales was because I wasn't using the best images, and I wasn't using the best keywords. A lot of my images looked really similar to a lot of the other ones that were already on Etsy. And I wasn't thinking about what people were actually searching for when they came to my page. I was just kind of thinking of what I wanted to make. So that is the biggest thing I learned from this whole experience, is that if you're gonna sell digital products online, you really need to make sure that you are picking the right keywords and that your images are a little bit more unique and different from what is already out there. Okay, so during this week I made a total of $300 from selling these images on Etsy. However, I did want to try another method as well, and that was to generate YouTube thumbnails for people. So I hopped onto Fiverr and I listed my service for $55. It was titled Generate Unique Eye-Catching YouTube Thumbnails. So I left it at that for a couple of days and waited for orders to come in. However, there were 0 orders, so I ended up lowering my price to $25, and I even offered revisions, and I ended up making 1 sale. So I made $25 for doing one person's thumbnail. Doing this, I realized that it was taking me a really long time to make each thumbnail because I was going through the whole process of talking to the client, asking them questions, getting their feedback, and then finally delivering the product. And I just feel like it was a lot of back and forth. So I ended up raising my price to $50 and canceling all the active orders that I had. Then I waited for new orders to come in. And I did get one order, but it was for $50. So I ended up completing it and I delivered the product and everything went well. So by the end of this week, I made a total of $75 by offering this service. But I knew that there were other ways that I could make money using AI. So I wanted to continue testing it out. Okay, so I decided to try creating templates on Etsy. This is something that I have seen other people talk about online and I figured it was worth a shot. So I created a few different templates and listed them for sale and I made $0. So I ended up lowering my prices and then I made around $17. So I raised them again and I made around $30. And by the end of the week, I was making around $50. The thing with selling templates though is that once you upload them to Etsy, people can download them immediately and you don't have to do anything else. They basically just buy and download and that's it. You don't have to deliver anything to them. So it's a great way to make some passive income. However, the downside is that you really have to put in a lot of work up front to make sure that your template is good and that it is something that people actually want to buy. For example, when I was creating my templates, I used Canvas and I found a lot of free templates that I could use as inspiration. So I would look at those templates and try to figure out how to make them even better. I would add in different elements and try to change things up a little bit. I also made sure that I tested out my templates before I uploaded them to Etsy to make sure that everything worked properly and that they looked good. By the end of the 30 days, I made a total of $250 from selling my templates on Etsy, which wasn't bad, but I had to put in a lot of work up front to make that happen. Okay, so overall after trying all these different methods, I made a total of $597 after fees from selling digital products on Etsy. And I think that is pretty good considering that I only spent a couple hours each day working on it. I was able to do it at my own pace, and I was able to work from anywhere. So it was really nice. However, I did notice that it was very slow at first and I didn't get any sales for the first few days. But once I started getting sales, it just kind of kept going up and up and up. And by the end of the 30 days, I was making around $110 a day, which was awesome. So if you're considering trying to sell digital products on Etsy, I definitely think it's worth it. It was a lot of work up front to set everything up, but once I got the ball rolling, it just kind of kept going and I didn't have to do much at all. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.